Okay, so the painting's all dry, and now we just need to finish up with details and painting the sides black and varnishing. So the first thing that I like to do is make some little dots inside each flower. Sort of pop them out, make them stand out. We're going to do that for each one of these. I'm just going in a circle. They don't have to be perfectly even. And I'm not going all the way around the outsides. Just a circle in the middle of it all. Okay, one more. And maybe I'll make this one a little bigger since it's at the bottom. So it won't feel top heavy. Maybe add a little bit to this too. Okay, so next I like to take my black extra fine Sharpie and put some little dots at the bottom. I'm going to take my finger and just kind of move it around, spread the dots out to give a little bit of a shadow underneath. You can see the dots are on my finger. Just kind of blot them with your finger and spread them a little bit. We'll do that on all 5 of the little flowers. Let's make sure you can see that. Maybe I'll also zoom in on this last one. Make sure you can see that. So I'm just putting the dots. And then with my finger, just spreading them out. Okay. So next what I'm going to do, you'll want to turn this when you're doing it. I'll try to turn my body so I don't have to turn this thing, but we're going to make the stems, and I kind of just turn my arm like this. Don't move your wrist or you're going to have a weird, a weird stem. You're going to use your arm to move it, not your wrist. So I'm going to drag that down, stop, go. I'm going to do the same thing here, drag it, go, and then, oh, this one. Make sure you're dragging your arm, not your wrist. Don't move your wrist at all. Lock it up. Okay, so I'm going to turn this so I can go back the other way, because we're going to make these 2 stems go this way. So we're going to drag it. It does get a little stuck on the wood grain, and then we're going to drag it down. Okay, so those are the stems. And then I like to do the same thing with the white as I did with the black, the extra fine point white Sharpie, or if you have a paint pen you like, you could do that, and just a little bit at the top. Maybe a little more. Okay, you could add a couple just regular ones and leave them if you wanted some brighter white highlights. Okay, so that part's done. You could, well, maybe I would use go in with like the Tuscan red or the crimson red and darken it up a little bit on the bottom, just lightly push it so it feels like it has a little more shadow. Little hair on there. I'm just lightly shading with this. You can see it kind of pops it up a little bit. And you could do that with chalk too. I do use chalk, but if you varnish over it, you're going to have to do a spray varnish first so that so the chalk doesn't come off when you're varnishing. And a little bit on this one. And you could rub those in a little bit. Okay, so let's see how that's looking on here. That looks good. Okay, so next I'm going to take my black colored pencil. Let's see if I can turn this so I can do this right. Okay, so along her dress, I'm just going to lightly pull this all the way up to the top. And back down, and then I'm going to rub it in. Whoops, rub it in with my finger. Now you can get like rug burn, wood burn, whatever you want to call it. It will start to burn your finger rubbing back and forth from the friction on the wood. So be wary of that. You could take a paper towel and do it. Just put a paper towel under your finger and do it, and that helps. But it can burn your finger doing that. Maybe shade it out a little bit. Starting to burn a little bit. Okay. Okay, so we'll turn that back around and do this side. Move some stuff over. Okay, so go up this side. And then finish with your finger. Ouch. Doesn't hurt. I'll use this finger. If your hands are a little sweaty, that's helpful too. Kind of moves the stuff a little bit. Okay, now make that a little darker. I should sharpen this so it's got a finer point, but I'm not going to. Color that a little bit. I'm going to put Let's see if you can see that. I'm going to put a little black line here too. I don't usually have it come out from the shoulder so far. You'll have it wrap around there. It never comes out the way you really want it to, but it still looks pretty good. Okay, so next what I like to do is take my my Prismacolor art stick. It's the same stuff that's inside here, but it's in a stick. And I'm going to take and go around all the edges. I'm going to rub around all the edges. And it is a little messy, but just be sure you don't smear it onto the face or anything. Okay, bottom. You don't have to do this, but I like it. I think it makes it look more finished. Flip that over. Okay, so then I'm going to go around and rub all the edges in. And this is going to end up burning your fingers, so be careful unless you're using a paper towel. Ouch. Okay, did I do that one? Yep, I did that. Okay. Let's see, is there anything else I want to do to this lady? I think maybe I'll give her some highlights in her hair with some acrylic paint. It's feeling a little flat to me. I think I will use the watermelon. And I'm going to use my rigger brush because I do not want big chunky stuff in there. I just want some very light highlights. Okay. And then you can see that, yeah. Okay. Oh, I don't have it thick enough, I guess. Let's see. And you don't have to do this everywhere. Just feels like it needs something. Okay. Maybe down here a little bit. And it's drying really light, and you'll be able to see it better after it's been varnished. Okay, I think I'm going to give her some eyelashes. And I'm going to use the rigger brush for that. These you'll have to be careful doing. I just gotta get this just right. You want it to be very thin. Okay, let me make sure you can see this. I'm gonna turn it this way. And I'm just gonna, you wanna hold it up as really close to the brush. And just flip it up. Just lightly put it on. Flip it up. Just flip it. Nobody has straight up and down eyelashes. You want to make sure you flip it. Or curl it, or add a few little ones to the bottom. Okay, turn it this way. Do the other side. Add a little more stuff to my brush. This side, I don't know, is a little harder to get to match the other side. I'm just gonna flip it. I'm just barely touching the wood here with the brush. And I'm just dragging it. Okay, and then you're gonna give her a little bit on the bottom. Maybe I'll fill that in a little bit. That one already looks pretty good. Okay. Let's see, is that everything? It's looking pretty good. She does have quite a bit of space up here. And I was gonna do the updo, and I didn't. So just be aware of that when you're putting your head on there. That you're gonna have some empty space up here if you're not careful. But all in all, I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to, I think, varnish it now. And you'll see it will really pop. I'll do the black edges later. You don't have to watch me paint the sides black. Those are no big deal. I don't put on a solid black. I do a wash, a black wash on it. So it's a, you know, you can see the wood grain through it. And let's see. I'm going to use this, take that out. I'm going to use a Liquitex gloss varnish, and it's not super glossy. It depends on how many coats you put on it. This one is, I don't know if you can see it. It's not too bad, but so anyway, I'm going to add some of this. One thing I suggest that you do is not dump varnish on there, especially when you're using the colored pencils. I've just had problems doing that. I would put it on a separate thing, maybe not your dirty acrylic block. Yeah. A clean one. I don't know if I have a clean one. Oh, that one's clean? Okay. So I'm just going to pour some of this on this side. And you do not want to overbrush this. You don't want to have a bunch of bubbles and spots that are hazy and not, you know, shiny. And you're just going to start brushing it. Now if you did a lot of colored pencil in the dark red or the black or the dark blues, any dark colors, they will smear when you do this, so you need to spray varnish them first, or else just go in sections of colors. That way you don't have a mess. It's pretty disappointing when you've done all the hard work and then one thing just messes the whole thing up. Okay, do this end. It looks Looks like I got it all. Okay. Looks like it's done. You could add some white dots to her hair, just to make it a little more whimsical. This one I did the little, oh, I don't know, the little dots in her hair kind of gave it something. I may do that to her after this dries. I could always wipe it off if it doesn't look good. And then I could just revarnish that area. Anyway, this was fun. Thank you so much for taking my class. I hope you learned something and it was worth it. And have a great day.